tonight's training is quite a personal one. I've gone for selling yourself. The reason I've decided to do this is, first of all, it follows in quite nicely from Tuesday's training. Of, once you've kind of got that inquiry, where do you go with it? What do you do with it? But also I did, as I'm sure you can imagine, maybe want to get some opinions and thoughts and ideas off other people. However, technology is technology. What it is doing for me still absolutely works for what we need. So I will not moan. And I will still go through all of the notes and everything that I've made for this session. And of course, if there's any questions, any emails, any opinions, any further help that you think you might need, by all means, drop me an email. If any of you really do think that this kind of training session would benefit you being in a live setting and you being on the other side of that screen, being able to ask questions in real time, by all means let me know and we can pretty much do it again. Hopefully you'll get enough out of this, but I am more than happy to do it all again with people at the other end should they feel that they need that and will benefit from that. So I have got some notes, but I haven't made it into a presentation or anything like that tonight. If anybody does feel as though they would benefit from having a copy of my notes, by all means, please go ahead and ask me for them and I will send them across to you. It's not an issue at all. So we'll get started and I'll just literally start reading through what I've learned in the past and how people really do buy from people. From those of you that have been around for maybe a little while now, you will have heard me say this so many times. And the reason that I stick to saying it is because it really is so true. Certainly in travel, your customers, your clients, they aren't just buying a holiday, they're buying trust, they're buying connection, they're buying communication, and they're buying confidence. So your expertise really does matter when it comes to them, your clients handing over the money, but it's your personality that will sort of build the long-term loyalty from them. And I really do home in on that whenever we do one of these kind of trainings. People really do buy into you and your personality and your, whether it's a sense of humor but that it all builds trust. So that is a huge thing to take away first of all. So what I've written down here is make you yourself the brand. So know your own personal brand. What is it that makes you different? What is it that your clients will say about you? Is it that you are so detail orientated? Is it that you are fun? Is it that you have a niche market, you're luxury focused or you're cruise focused, whatever that may be? What is it about you that's different? Now, from an Archer perspective, we could go on and on and on. We can use so many different suppliers, including obviously the guys, some of the suppliers in the US, so pretty much worldwide suppliers. You've got the luxury of working kind of whatever hours you like, if that's the right way to put that. So from a client perspective, you could market that as the fact of being flexible to suit them. It's how you want to come across, and it's what you want people to think of when they hear your name and know about you. But defining your brand, defining your personality, and making sure that you show it in anything that you do is the first step. And like I say, it's building you as the brand. The second step that I've then written down is being seen and being remembered. So showing up on social media as yourself, using your face. People trust the face. I'm not saying don't have your logo, but the good thing with, let's say, Facebook, for instance, is that you do have the option to have effectively two pictures, obviously your profile picture and your cover photo. So you do have space for both. Obviously, with apps nowadays, it takes a couple of minutes to kind of glue two pictures together. You could have your face and your logo in the background, whatever it may be. Either which way, people need to be able to put a face to the name. We've spoken about this more so in the last couple of weeks. I feel like it's crept up a little bit more. But we've spoken about talking on video very much in an inquiry setting, but that isn't all that you can do on video. You can tell stories on there. You can share tips on videos. They don't have to be long. They don't have to be a 2-minute video. They don't have to be an hour's training like we sit and do. It can be a 7-second tip, you know, behind the scenes moments of maybe your own holidays, or, you know, these kind of memes that go around. I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head, and it's really strange not having anybody else on camera. Off the top of my head, oh, for example, the face you make when you know you've just booked another customer their perfect holiday, and you could literally just, you know, take a photo of yourself or make yourself into one of those short meme videos of, you know, pulling a funny face kind of thing. Your own travels, like I say, these are the kind of things, these short, sharp tips, stories, behind the scene moments, funny things like I say, a meme, whatever it might be, but those things will be remembered. And I've just put here a little top tip: realness beats perfection. So confidence and authenticity, when I can say it correctly, are what connect to people the most. It's what connect to people in the best way, and it's what they are drawn to. So definitely, if you can, be seen, show up. Obviously, we have a lot of the consistency that we've spoken about, again, quite a lot in the last few weeks. That falls into that hugely as well: being seen, being remembered, being consistent. But in this case, we're talking more about using yourself, showing who you are, to obviously, again, build that brand. And then on to step 3. Network like a human. So attending any local events, any markets, any networking nights. I know of an agent that went to a networking night and got, I think, 2 inquiries out of going there. And, you know, introduce yourself with whatever your niche may be. Hi, I'm Sharna, and I specialise in helping couples book in unforgettable weddings and honeymoons, for example. You know, whatever it might be, but making it personal, making it memorable. You know, and even if you don't have a niche: hi, my name's Sharna. I book everybody and anybody anywhere in the world that they feel like they need and want to go to. Simple as that. You know, it doesn't have to be you only book cruises, you only book weddings, because I appreciate that there's a lot of people on here that will do a little bit of everything, which I personally have always done that. So, but yes, making it memorable, making it personal, and making them think of you. On to the next step. Let your personality be the magnet. So obviously this works in life, full stop. This doesn't just work with regards to Archer. and putting yourself out there. This very much is lifelong. But being known for something. So as we were saying earlier, it could be that you're known for being a luxury queen. It could be that you're known for being a stress-free group trip expert. You could be the Disney pro, but you don't have to be that. You can be the go-to, the one-stop shop, the funny agent, the whatever it may be. Being known for that thing will creep up in clients' heads. It will creep up not just when they're thinking about going on holiday, and that is perfection with regards to the rapport that you need with a person. That is where they will pass your name over to friends and pass your name over to families, and they might be in a pub with the friends on a Friday night, and someone might mention, oh, the missus has decided that we're going to Lanzarote at the end of the year. All right, have you got a travel agent? I've got one. Being known for something and having that personality of and drawing those people in, you will stick in their heads. And then following on from that, actually really quite well, when people refer what they can describe. So make it easy, asking for referrals in the right way. If you hear of someone planning to go away, I'd love for you to introduce them to me, if you wouldn't mind. You've built this rapport with them. You want them, you obviously always want them to feel special, but they can never ever, in the moment of booking their holiday, they should feel like your only clients. But then they should walk away wanting to hand your name out to other people, but also knowing that you want them to do that. So just make it easy for yourself. And all of these really do fit into each other. On to the next step. So actually attracting the clients. So creating a trust building content. So going sort of back to the social media side of things, sharing things like tips, packing tips. I know for a fact some of the regular people that come on these trainings will have packing tips coming out of their ears. I have no doubt about it. And even watching this, you probably know who you are. So sharing that kind of thing, maybe making it look a little bit funky or whatever it might be, great. Off-season deals. Not everybody wants to go to Tenerife for Christmas. Some people may want to go to Malta that's a little bit cooler and quieter. Off-season deals, they really do help. And real client success stories. So if you have the time, and also I think we've spoken about this quite a lot, the confidence to do it. When you know that you've had a client come home from their holiday, send them an email, ask them, how was it? When you then get a response, nothing whatsoever stopping you from saying, fantastic, I am so glad you've had such a good time. Thank you so much for your feedback. Would you mind if I anonymously posted that email onto my social media? You could go a step further and you could ask them to actually go onto your page and post their story, about your service, how smooth everything went, whatever it might be. But that is a real booster. And then position yourself as the helpful go-to expert. And what I mean by that is a lot of what you guys do is going to be in black and white. And when I say in black and white, I mean in writing. Emails, Facebook messages, you get the idea. So ensure that you're still putting your personality across in those emails. Of course, you need to be professional Absolutely, you do. We always want a spell check. We never want WTFs written down or anything like that. But that doesn't stop you from putting your personality across. You can be cheeky with it. Let's say you are sending somebody two different quotes and you put in on there, listen, I know this one's a bit more expensive. Wait till you see it. I've done it on purpose. I know you're going to love it. You just need to get Mr. Smith on board. Something like that. Again, you see where I'm going with it. Do not be too robotic. There's no need to be. The other thing that I feel like fits in under this umbrella really, really well, that go-to expert scenario, is sending them travel tips prior to departure. Now, again, this could be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. But if you've got somebody who's going to Thailand, let's say, and because you've obviously done your research with your client prior to booking them, you know that they've never been before, etc., etc. Couple of weeks prior to departure, 3 weeks, 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be, there is nothing stopping you from sending them an email. Your tickets will be due shortly, as an example. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, your tickets are going to be due in shortly. I hope you're on countdown, 28 days and counting, something along those lines. I just wanted to send over a few travel tips. The visa, for example. I've chosen Thailand. Why have I chosen Thailand? Vaping is illegal in Thailand. It could be the current rate of exchange in Thailand is around X Thai baht to the pound. Another travel tip. It could be what we were talking about earlier with your packing tips or anything like that. Travel tip. Try and have some Thai baht with you, because when you arrive, it's going to be warm and there is a small shop that sells water, etc., 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 outside of the airport. It could be anything like that. It could be silly. It could be, wouldn't be silly, the whole email, of course, but there could be, like a silly travel tip in there, whatever it may be. And then if you really, really want to step your game up, you could also start doing things like monthly newsletters, a featured destination. And you can put this on your socials, but you could also ask whether or not your clients would like to opt into these kind of things. That is really pushing it to the next level. Now, I do completely appreciate that a lot of what we're talking about here is once the bookings are coming through, etc., etc. But if you started doing updates, newsletters, travel tips, featured destinations, small videos on your socials, these are the things that are going to get people coming to you. These are the things that are setting you apart. These are the things that are making you remembered. And that is exactly what you need. And then next week, of course, we do have the MetaSuite training. But I do also just want to touch on it with regards to your personality. Those call to action messages that you can put on where you can be personal. Do you need me to help you book something special? Just press message, whatever it might be. Quick, personal, straight to the point. But again, your personality should be coming through. Every single click, every single word that you type in. There is no reason at all that you cannot put your personality in there. If you have I think they're called a quick reply on Facebook Messenger, for example, where you're emailing out of hours, or sorry, you're messaging out of hours, or if a client has In fact, you can put them on full stop. So if a client messages you, and you can have those quick responses that are automatically sent back to them, even those, you can personalize those. So there's no reason that you can't put your own personality in there. You know, we've spoken about when you're commenting on posts that where people are asking for travel agents, use your personality. Put yourself in a different category to those that are saying, I can help you, send me a DM, because that's what they're all doing. So just use your personality. You've all got them. I speak to you at least twice a week. Helpful responses is another one. Really, really is a big thing. If you cannot do something or you cannot help somebody, the worst thing you can do is say no or close the conversation off with, I'm really sorry, I can't do that. I'm really sorry, I can't help you with that. Explain, be helpful. If it's something that you may be able to help with, if they tweak it, explain that. Just try and be helpful. Again, we want these people, and we don't just want them once, we want them to keep coming back to us. And my final tips, if we like, is authenticity sells. Let people know who you are, let them in. Now, that's not me saying sit and chat for half an hour on the phone before you even find out where they want to go, but ensure that the way you're speaking comes across as professional. You know what you're talking about, but also you're being yourself. You know, you don't have to tell them that you went to B&M's yesterday and list everything that you bought. Absolutely not. But letting them know the real you. The second top tip, confidence connects. Again, we've spoken about this so often. But if you can speak to somebody with clarity, it speaks 1,000 words. And I say this every time I do a destination training or something like that. If you, a weddings training, a cruise training, if you can walk away from a client to go and get their prices for them, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to need some help with this. But the front of your mind, it is very much, yep, perfect, that sounds great, etc., etc. Even if you're brand new to it, which I know a lot of you are, it really does speak volumes. That confidence is exactly what they need to build the trust. Number 3, stories stick. So using real life examples, exactly what we were just talking about earlier on, whether that is a short video, your packing tips, your top tips, your memes, as we were talking about earlier. Real life examples will work over sales talk. If you've been to the place, if you haven't been to the place and you want to go, what you know about it, anything, these stories really do stick. And then number 4, show, don't just tell. So let your actions reflect your strengths. And again, that can work in so many different areas. But if you're calling yourself the luxury queen, as an example, and you are putting things out there that then on TripAdvisor are getting 2.5, 3 out of 5, you're completely doing yourself a disservice. If you are putting your strengths forward as weddings, but then you are never putting on your socials about free weddings and, you know, receptions and making your memes wedding orientated, you nothing is reflecting what you're saying your strengths are. And finally, build community. And again, that very much falls under this consistency topic that seems to have been coming up a lot. but making sure you are replying, making sure you are commenting, making sure you're asking any questions. It's okay to ask questions if you don't have the information that is required. And of course, staying visible, which goes right the way back to the top, which is building your brand and showing you. So it's building, we say it here on these trainings that those of you that are consistently coming on these trainings are building a community, because you're feeling like you can go to each other if you need something, you can ask each other for help or opinions or advice or whatever it may be. That is going to work exactly the same within this this company and within your brand. You need to stay visible, you need to be replying, you need to be putting yourself across, your own personality across, and there is nothing wrong at all with being yourselves. And the final thing I've just put here is that people don't just want to book a trip. They want someone that they trust. They want somebody to help them get it right. And that somebody is you. And that is all of the notes that I wrote down, but I really do hope that people have got something out of this. I apologise that this was very much a training of me rather than a presentation or anything like that. But I think sometimes it's much easier to just talk, and a lot of these things, bear in mind, are based on real experience as well. I'm very much hitting, or very close to, not quite hitting, very close to my 20-year mark of being in travel. So any type of customer that you could think of, I've had. That's over the phone, via emails, face to face. So I have done these things, and I don't want anybody to feel as though I'm sat here and talking for the sake of talking. These things really, really do work. And there's so many ways around them. We've spoken enough now about scheduling your posts and things like that. We all have lives outside of work, absolutely. But what we also have is the technology, not tonight, the technology that helps us and allows us to still have that life outside of work. Sit down for an hour, whatever it might be, go on to your suppliers, take their offers, you can copy and paste them. We're in a very fortunate position where we even have some suppliers that will actually you can make the quote into like a social media post, so you're not even really having to do anything other than find what you want to find. If you don't want to do that, you go on their offers and steal their offers that they're giving to you. You don't even have to go and find your own if you don't want to. But you could sit for, let's say, an hour while Corrie's on, and Emmerdale, whatever it might be, and you're watching it, but you're also not watching it. Get the computer, laptop, and schedule your posts. Schedule them for the next 24, 48 hours, however long it may be. Morning, afternoon, evening, great. You can schedule as many posts, of course, as you want. And again, we'll go into that next week when we're doing the Meta Suite. But you can have all of that set up while you're watching the soaps, and then not have to worry about them for the next day, 2 days, however many you've done. And all you're then doing is waiting for people to comment, waiting for the messages to come through and the inquiries to pop through. But the chunky work itself, finding those offers, etc., you've done it. You know that they're going out at the time that you've asked for them to go out. You're being consistent with that, which is where, of course, the algorithm and things also starts kicking in. So yeah, all of those things there, recipe for success, exactly what you want, and commission for you guys in your pockets at the end of the day. So of course, I don't have anybody that I can ask if they've got any questions or anything like that. But as I do always say, please, please do email me if you've got any questions. If you feel like you want any one-to-one time, I do a lot of those to guide people along with anything I may be able to help them with. And aside from that, thank you all very, very much. And I will see you all hopefully on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Bye.